I'm gonna go grab a. Has everyone got a map on them? Because I've just realised.
Yep, I'll
So
pass those out now.
yeah, I was just about to grab, because I'm gonna use that to scribble things on as
No,
well.
unfortunately. Apparently, there's no
I
maps in
said
the.
everyone's getting a map. Hold your fucking horses, people. Sit down. Calm yourselves. Fucking.
Yep,
Sorry,
the
I
training
should have
box
thought
doesn't
ahead
have a
about that.
map, so...
I should have thought ahead on that. It's fine. Yeah.
Check now, Adder. You might have a map.
Yeah. Sorted.
Raj. Alright, I'll give everybody else maps and compasses. Fucking.
Okay.
I'll tell you when you have your map and your compass, so you don't have to check until I tell you specifically. Artemis, you should have a compass and a map now.
Yep.
Fucking Rocket Queen, you have a compass right now, and then in a couple of seconds you will have a map.
Hell yeah, I do.
And Stone, you are getting your map first. Give me a second. Fucking mappity there, and there is going to. I fucking, where's the compass? There's the compass. Almost gave you a fucking cell phone. And here you go, Adder, your compass, because I forgot to give you yours. Fucking,
Literally charging the phone.
fucking, there we go. There we go. Compass received. And
Okay.
I should have mine.
So with that dealt with, the map's mostly going to double as a notepad for the time being, until later on when we get onto the exercise phase. I've already looked at the map. Why?
I got rid of mine.
No, it's
Do I have to get rid of it?
that's fine. I just looked up to go and check how much of the check the map is actually all there, and then noticed it. Okay. With that all
I
done
figured
with,
I'd at least keep it outside of the playable area.
yeah, that's fine. So,
Yeah.
I'm your resident headcase, and today we're going to be going over some of the basic principles, some of the basics of how to lead a squad. And a lot of this comes from my own experience as a header, and is not necessarily a you have to do it this way. Everyone has their own way of leading, so you'll just find that style once you've got enough experience and confidence. This is mostly to give you the basic tools to understand what you should be thinking about, and to make sure that you actually have the ability to feel confident enough to take that role. So, obviously, aim of today is that. Incentive, it means you're going to be more comfortable taking on a command role. It means we've got more people who can take command rather than having the same few people doing it all the time. And it means that when everything goes to rat shit, as it invariably does, we have more people who understand what they're doing, so they can take command if the general command structure has been wiped out. Without further ado, pull up with a nice, simple question. What is a leader?
It's the person in charge of keeping things organized and together on a manageable level so that the objective gets carried out successfully.
That's one way of looking at it. It is very much just an open question to you all, so feel free to fire away with things. Crikey, dead silence.
I'm just thinking right now.
Okay.
I agree. It's sort of like that sort of management role, and hope getting people working together towards a common goal instead of disorganized.
Yeah, both of those do feed quite nicely into one another, and yeah, that pretty much is the essence of what leadership is, or being a leader is being able to take the absolute herd of cats we usually have and be able to focus them in and get them running on a specific target comfortably, and making sure that you can achieve the results. So, in order to do that, a leader has to have a certain few things about them. Again, I'm not going to give you the whole spiel from the FMT or whatever the US military manual is, because they have several PowerPoints with several slides at a time on all the different values and standards of a leader. Most of them can be quite nicely and easily condensed. So, for starters, as a leader, what's one thing that you think is kind of important to have in terms of your own abilities, your own behaviors?
Common sense.
Yep.
Not always.
Huh?
I mean, I get by without it most of the time.
I was kind of terrified.
Hey, that's what the rest of the
with
squad
notion.
is for.
Yeah. And we'll get on to where that's quite handy shortly.
Charisma helps.
It can do. I have the charisma of that bunk bed, but again, allow me to give you an example that might make this a little bit of an easier question to understand. If you told the squad to put on rucksacks and march from here to the main town, down in the valley, and yet you took a jeep, would you be a particularly good leader?
No,
I
because
mean-
you're not keeping track of shit. You're not keeping track of the squad, which
That-
you can
Oh,
command on.
communication.
That really depends, like, on a few things. Do you have a senior fusilier who's also there to keep people in check? Are you going ahead to set something up? Do you have a way of keeping in contact with your squad?
All
Working
very.
to- Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go on.
It's also sort of working towards a common goal too, or knowing
Yeah.
what that common goal is.
Yeah. So, one way that I've always looked at this sort of stuff is don't expect people to do anything that you wouldn't be willing to do yourself. So, in other words, that's why I've given the example of telling people to march while you do something completely different in in terms of doing the same job. Granted, that one doesn't apply as heavily in armor, but it is one to be aware of.
Yep.
Is to make sure that you are expecting reasonable outcomes and reasonable performance from people, or you're not over expecting. Not that we usually have that issue, to be fair.
Yeah. But it is something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Secondly, and again, this one isn't as big an issue in armor, is try and at least have a basic level of understanding of what you're doing as well. Because if you can afford to, or if you're having to worry about your own skills, your own drills, and then try and lead at the same time, it can be a bit of a headache.
So knowing the abilities of both your units and yourself.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Having a
Know
good
your
idea-
limits.
Yeah. Know your limits, know what your squad can and can't do.
Yep.
To that end, if people are better at things than you are, make use of that. So,
Yep.
for example, if there's a member of your squad who's a better navigator than you are, put them on point, get them to be the navigator, while you worry about keeping track of what else is going on.
Hence why
So-
we have the tabs in the first place.
But run through a couple of sort of principles that I generally follow for leadership. And again, this is more of a guide than anything else, or guidelines thereof. When it comes to you actually being in command on the ground, try and make sure that you're keeping an eye on what's going on in the bigger picture. So command usually tells us what's going on around our area, don't they?
Mhm.
Make sure that you firstly understand what our job actually is within that, and more importantly, make sure that whenever you're planning something, that you're aware of what's going on around you. Because if you're not keeping an eye on the tactical situation, it can run you into trouble pretty quickly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Second point of mine is, and we'll come back to this in more detail later, always make sure you have at least a decent plan before you set foot outside of your safe area.
Mhm.
Because having a good plan is always very helpful.
Yep.
However,
Go ahead.
no, you go ahead first.
Like things like how would you approach an objective, or things like once you take an objective, what are the strong points in which you can hold it from, and
Pretty
if
much.
things go to shit, where can we retreat away from it?
Yep.
Exactly. However, just because you've got a plan, does that mean you have to rigidly follow that plan once you've set it into place?
No, and there is the thing like a plan dissolves upon first contact.
Mm-hmm.
It's like plan is more like guidelines and not rules.
The plan is what you fall back on when you've done everything you can on the field.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So don't be afraid to deviate from whatever plan you've got. If there's a better option that opens, if one of your subordinates suggests something that sounds like it might work out better than what's going on,
Yep.
don't be afraid to go, actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's give that a go instead and see if it gives us better results. The next one down definitely applies for us. When it comes to discipline within the unit, know when to apply it, but more importantly, know when not to. 'Cause let's face it, we all love a good bit of fucking about here and there.
Yep.
It's good for people to just enjoy themselves. So long as it isn't impacting the squad's cohesion, so long as you're not doing that in the middle of a firefight, then generally speaking, it's fine to let that go on. Being too heavy-handed with it can just piss people off a little bit. After all, we're in a video game. At the end of the day, we're not in basic at Harrogate or at Paris Island, so always
No,
bear
we're here
that
to
in
have
mind.
fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. At the same time, obviously, we want to make sure that we've not got somebody just trying to dance in front of a BMP, so if somebody does that, make sure to grab them by the back of the waistband and pull them down off of what they're dancing on.
Or let the VMP run them over. You have options.
That too, and then point at them and go, "You see that, ducklings? Don't do that."
Yeah, fucking. I would say, like, I think a lot of y'all understand how we do morale and fucking goddamn cohesion and discipline here. We try and let y'all have a lot of fun when we can, but when shit's getting serious, that's when we start cracking down on shit.
Exactly.
Fucking
Okay.
time the joke is like when you're done kicking the ass of the enemy and you know they're not coming to come and retry and fucking take back that hill, or like 15 minutes before op we're all sitting around the box because fucking someone's DC'd for the 80th time and y'all are pretty sure command's not gonna start fucking like anything too serious in the next couple of minutes. That's when you can have your fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The next one down is one that I do struggle with sometimes, and that I know from past experience of watching how other people do things and looking at my own actions is a big one. Always try and be decisive with your actions. If things are going to absolute rat shit, don't sit around umming and ahhing if you can avoid it.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, even if the decision you make is a bit of a shit decision and it does end up going somewhat wrong, it's still better to take that decision right now than to be sat around coming up with a good plan that you're not going to be able to execute properly because you take that move too late, if that makes sense.
Yep. The TLDR on that one is fucking if you come to a decision, make a decision. Do not sit and go, well, we don't have to do it at this moment.
Exactly.
If you've taken an objective and you're kind of sitting about and you're not really sure what the fuck's going on, set up defenses. You know, call command, be like, hey, we've taken the objective, we're setting up a defensive position. Can we get X, Y, and Z? If you're going to charge an enemy and they move off their positions before you get there, don't sit in the open field going, do we fight them or what the fuck do you know? No, just close. Get the fuck to where you're supposed to be going.
Yeah.
If you're in a convoy and the fucking thing gets ambushed, fucking don't stop the vehicle and figure out what the fuck to do. Push on, get to cover, and figure out what the hell you're gonna do from there. Don't
Exactly.
just be like, don't stop and go, well, didn't expect to get shot at yet.
And then from there you can adjust your decisions
Yep.
depending on how things
Fucking
go.
if
Exactly.
you get to the top of the hill and there's an entire American squad below you and you have no fucking cover, it is better to charge them and deal with them in CQC than it is to sit up there and let them shoot at you. Is the TLDR.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I do apologize if it sounds like I'm talking with a mouthful of food. I am.
She is, in fact, doing that.
Yeah.
There's a
I
very good
only
reason.
finished cooking my tea about half an hour ago.
Don't worry, Adder. I can like continue to fill in with shit like fucking
Okay.
decisiveness. For
Yeah.
me, like personally, I'm extremely fucking aggressive once we make contact with the enemy, because I know exactly how much aggressiveness the AI can handle before it fucks off. And that's why I am always of the opinion that you should keep attacking until you physically cannot anymore. Which is why when I'm squad leading, I push the squad a little bit harder than I probably have any good right to doing. But like, if you're fucking in the defensive positioning, like so fucking for instance Sunday, fucking after Lexi got nailed or fucking DC'd and the squad got chewed to shit, and me, Viso, and Artie were basically just picking or having us on that hill. Fucking a good leader, like we didn't retreat because we didn't see any reason to until the fucking Shoka came up. And so we were making the fucking choice to sit there and take. But the second the Shoka came up, it wasn't like a 10-minute discussion on should we sit here and let it shoot at us. It was immediately me and Viso going, we're getting the fuck out of here. Let's go, people. Fucking a bad decision is significantly better than no decision in most cases.
Exactly.
And
Fucking-
shulkers are fucking terrifying.
Exactly.
Fucking if
something
the
big and
option,
scary comes down the road, find something to hide from it, and
Yeah.
then worry about how you're going to deal with that situation. Don't do
fucking
it the other way round.
fucking World War II op from a long time ago. Fucking Grenadier got murdered. Fucking dropped the fucking anti-tank weapon the Soviet squad had. Fucking just pick it up, use it against the King Tiger. Like, sure, you're not supposed to because you're not the dedicated assistant, but at the end of the fucking day, make a decision when you have the a choice. Make a decision. If
Exactly.
throwing yourself out of the building means you get to live, fucking jump.
Exactly. On that point with the anti-tank weapon, that feeds into the last point that I've got with leadership, which is arguably one of the most important points that I can make here. Try not to micromanage individuals.
Yep.
Granted, most of us are neurodivergent in some manner, and that some of us have intelligence that varies day to day on how sober or not we are, etc. But at the end of the day, we all still have brains. We
Yep.
all still have reasonably good levels of training. Trust the people around you to make use of that.
Yep.
If they're fucking around and they don't seem to be doing what they need to be, then sure, put them in line, tell them what they need to be doing. But otherwise, trust them to know their standard operating procedures, their SOP.
Remember-
And
I was gonna say,
Matthew?
remember your micromanage. Remember giving them like tips on, hey, y'all should be keeping 360, or hey, let's get eyes on this target, or hey, two people go look over there. That's less micromanaging than like saying, hey, fucking you specifically follow me. If you want if you want to like move like units around, you can, but try not to be constantly relying on one person to do everything, or like talking like telling them to take specific positions, doing specific things. Don't tell them, hey, clear this house room by room, X, Y, and Z opens the door and here's who covers. Tell them take the building, and then give them pointers like maybe let the person with the longest shit rifle not be the one to go through the fucking door first. You know? There's ways
Exactly.
to manage without being extremely micro about it. You can be like, hey, maybe the person with the RPG should be looking down the road instead of, hey, RPG fuck, look down the road, you know? There's ways of suggesting things to people without like making them do it. You can just suggest things. Be like, hey, machine gunner, maybe hold fire until they're closer, or hey y'all, let's try and keep 360. Try like
yeah.
I think y'all can like kind of get the jive of how we do management in the squad since y'all have been in the squad. There's very little hands-on, I'm taking your fucking weapon from you, and very much more, you should theoretically do X, Y, and Z if you would like to live.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, this isn't a game of men of war. Trying to manage a squad person by person is a very good way to lose track of the bigger picture. And as we said earlier, it's important to keep an eye on that if we don't want things to go absolutely to shit.
Yep.
Any questions on what we've gone through so far?
I'm good so far. I would just
Yep.
that is something that I'm definitely going to struggle with is like a bit too micromanage mindset.
There's ways and means of working around that, in all honesty. And again, given that after this, we'll be putting you as probationary NCOs, you will get the opportunity to at least try out being in command on future ops. And from there, we can coach you better on where you
Mhm.
can improve. Because frankly, the only way to improve is through experience,
Yep.
and the only way to get better from experience is to have experience of how things go well, and more importantly, how things go to shit.
Yep.
There's a reason that I'm giving this particular lecture on this. I have plenty of the latter.
I find that I can be better with in terms of initiative,
Yeah.
especially that sort of it's better to make a bad decision and then adjust accordingly than to just do nothing.
I will make a note about initiative. When you're trying to be in, like when you're going for initiative, make sure you understand what the bigger picture is. Like, do
Yeah.
not make a decision based off of like you can do it. Make it based off of me doing X will lead to Y, and Y is better for us in the long run. So,
Yeah.
for instance, you get to your objective and you find out that hey, the other hill that y'all didn't take is actually the taller one, and so you're gonna take your forces and take that hill and leave and like tell command, hey, we're leaving like a dude or the machine gunner behind at this hill to like cover us. Go for it. That's fucking fine. But
Don't
if
be
your initiative,
Imperial cavalry.
yeah, if your initiative is hey, we're going to just not take this objective and we're gonna go take a different objective, then that's not initiative. That's just fucking the plan up.
Yeah. Or worse yet, deciding that actually we're now a one squad army, which is where I'm coming back to the point of cavalry. They did that a lot.
Yep.
Strangely enough, if we're talking Napoleonic era, guess who suffered some of the highest casualty rates?
Gee, I wonder.
Hmm.
Horses.
Yep.
There is a time to be overly aggressive and overly fucking aggro against the enemy, and then there's times where you go, all right, we have pushed them off this field. They are fleeing actively, but they still have enough people and enough fucking manpower in the reserve to like kick us the fuck back here. Let's dig in. If you're in like something like an airborne op and you take an objective, sometimes it's worth sitting down, fucking digging defenses and telling command, "Hey, we took this objective. What's up?" Instead of like pushing down the road, getting your asses kicked, and then you can't even defend the objective y'all were supposed to take.
Exactly.
Which again ties into the thing of know your limits and your squad's limits.
Yep.
Exactly. You'll notice
Fucking.
all of this nicely ties itself back into one another.
Yep.
Because there is, as I say, there's no single thing that makes someone a good leader. It's a mesh of several factors, several things that they understand and are capable of doing
Yep.
that determines a leader.
Fucking.
Okay.
Like Harrison's growth specifically, we saw him go from extremely unaggressive to extremely aggressive to like now where he will have the squad go a little bit further than they probably should. But they also aren't going to be like constantly having this high operational tempo, keep moving forward, all this jazz. They'll actually sit and be like, all right, we're going to wait till reinforcements come to relieve us, or hey, we're going to push down this hill and like fight them outside of the town instead of letting them close in the fucking close combat range with us. There is
Yeah.
a balance to how aggressive you can be and how passive you can be. Passiveness
Yeah.
is not bad, overly aggressiveness is not bad. It's just figure out,
Knowing when.
yeah. Sometimes it is good to just tell the squad, hey, we're not moving past this fucking town. Sit your asses down, look out windows, and just take a smoke break.
Entrench your positions.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're happy enough with that, then we'll move on to the two main leadership styles that we deal with at squad level. Technically, there's three that exist, but one of them doesn't really apply to us. It's mostly what Kendall or people above Kendall will be doing.
Yee.
So that one being delegating leadership style, where instead of you specifically leading the task, you give that to a subordinate and tell them, hey, here's a task I need you to do. Get it done. And trust them to get that dealt with. Okay. Again, that's as far into that one as I'll go for now. Because unless this unit like explodes threefold overnight, we're not gonna have to worry about having multiple platoon commanders for now.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, I can already hear you
Fucking
panicking. as
the
we
day
do
I have
this.
to open up the TOE and be like, all right, so I am now a battalion commander. That's a fucking promotion. Is the day I'm like, all right, shit.
Those recruitment drives really been
Fucking
kicking off.
fucking goddamn
Exactly.
Arma server we need to get fucking filled up. Those we have to move to fucking Reforger. Goddamn, need to get them 100 player slots at this point. Jesus.
Yeah.
If we
Okay.
somehow get a Charlie squad, that would be interesting.
It would be one day. One day.
Yeah. Okay, so the two leadership styles we'll focus on are directing and participating, or as I call them, dictatorial and democratic. These are the two main styles that you'll find being used at squad level. So, directing or dictatorial is where you've got the person at the top, the squad leader in this case, calling the shots, very much a my way or the highway situation. There's no real discussion about what's going on, and it's very much their call and their call alone.
The advantage
Let's
of
have-
that. Go ahead.
Yep, I was about to say, we're going to go over some of the pros and cons. So you have one?
The advantage of that is that it's quick.
Exactly. That's
Extremely.
pretty much the biggest advantage with this,
Yep.
is that it is extremely quick, which, let me think, when do we want a decision to be made very quickly?
When we're getting
Which-
shot at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shit's hitting the fan.
Exactly. We do not want to be sitting down and having a roundtable discussion in the middle of the open while
Yep.
there is a heavy machine gun blatting away at us. We want to be saying, right, get into this ditch here. You two get up to the other end of it, see if you can get around them. The rest of you start putting rounds down. That's a lot quicker than sitting down and going, okay, how do we want to go about this? While all around us, people are getting an unwelcome appointment with a 50 caliber machine gun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it
Okay.
can work in some cases where where your leader might be a little bit more better than the ducklings. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. That I'll agree with. Okay.
So from what I've seen, I usually like to get the input of others, which ties into the next one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've gone over a couple of advantages for dictatorial style. What do you think one of the biggest downsides of this is?
People are gonna get fed up with your shit.
To an,
Eventually.
to an extent, yeah. Like, if you're constantly bossing people around, again, as we've gone with earlier, and even in the real world, people don't generally like being pushed around. So yeah, you can run into issues where you end up causing more conflict than you need to.
You might get, and from that you might get tunnel vision, where you only think of things through like a singular lens.
That's pretty much the main downside that I've got written down here, is that with a dictatorial style, you're relying on one person's judgment out of that entire squad. That one person may have flawed judgment. As you say, they may be tunnel visioned. They may not be thinking about things in the same way somebody else is.
They straight
More
up might not know of something.
Exactly. There may be information they don't know. Like, somebody might have seen a enemy machine gun getting into position while they were moving in. Squad leader might not have, and they might not have factored that into their plan. Or the information they have might just be flat out wrong. It happens. Quite frequently, in fact.
Maybe the ditch y'all were in doesn't in fact flank around that machine gun. And so the two nerds going around will have to like do a dead sprint over open field to a rock or some shit.
Exactly. Which nobody particularly likes.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Any other points that we can think of for the dictatorial style, either in favor or against?
That seems like pretty much it.
Yeah, I was about to say the dead silence tells me that seems about
Just
it.
trying to think. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, moving on then, and feel free to shout up with one if you do think of one rocket, that's fine. So participating, or as I call it, democratic style, is kind of what we're doing right now. Whoever's at the front sits down with everybody else and goes, right, here's what we've got to do. how do we as a group think this is? Here's what I've been thought up so far. Does anyone have another idea? Does anyone think they've got a better way of going about this? Which can be done before you go into the field, or it can be done when you're out, when you're not being shot at actively. For example, in the last stop I was taking part in, we kind of ended up doing that, where the plan that I'd had, we got on the ground and found it was unworkable. Had a quick discussion between the squad and decided, right, let's go use that building instead. So, starting with advantages or disadvantages, start throwing some out there.
With that ties into that tunnel vision, you get more knowledge overall,
Exactly.
and you
You're
get
making use of the You're making use, instead of just the collective brain cell of the squad, you're making use of some of the other brain cells that exist there too, which can mean that you get better ideas, or you just get given ideas that you hadn't actually stopped to consider, and you go, "Oh, I didn't think that we could go about it that way."
you also get more sort of emotional participant engagements,
Exactly.
which will improve morale.
Exactly. If people feel like they're actually being listened to by the people, and that their thoughts are being taken on board, they're more likely to be happy with what they're doing. They're more likely to be like, if we've all sat down and gone, yeah, this is a situation, but we haven't really got a better option than to charge this 50 yard of open ground towards that machine gun. If we've all sat down and gone, actually, yeah, that's honestly the only way of doing this, people are going to be more happy to do it than being ordered forward as though it's the First World War. There's one big downside to this style, though, and
Slow.
yeah, exactly. Like, it can take 5-10 minutes, sometimes more, to actually get a decent workable plan, depending on what you're trying to figure out.
Yep.
We all just huddle around a circle while we get arty fired or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's
Fucking-
a reason.
So-
Yep.
Theoretically, what you would want to do is switch between the two leadership styles depending on the situation. If you're not
Yes.
under fire, you
have-
go democratic.
You
If
have
you're
pretty
under
much
fire.
headed off my next point perfectly.
Yeah,
because
same.
I was about to ask you a trick question of which one's better, and you've answered it in one. Both of them
I
have
agree.
a place. It's knowing when and where to use them that count.
Yep.
'Cause
Fucking.
you can sometimes use dictation well out of combat. You can sometimes use democratic while you're being shot at. It just depends on what you're doing.
Yep.
Depends if you're leading a squad or if you're leading a vehicle, democratic vehicle.
Yeah. Or on a smaller scale, democratic can be as simple as having a quick chat with your 2IC and going, "Here's the plan I've got. Got any better ideas, or do you reckon this is the best we've got?"
Yep.
That can be, like, democratic can be as simple as that, of having a quick check with the next biggest brain within the squad, or the next most senior, and going, "Do you have any better idea?" Like, you'll normally hear me say that at the end of any plan I come up with is, "Does anyone have a better plan?" Because,
So-
again,
With democratic, you tend to like if people are inputting, they'll possibly remind you of their own capabilities and stuff, and it makes it
Yep.
easier to take into, like, if the grenadier says that they're low on AT shit or whatever, like, it's just easier to keep track of the entire squad's capabilities
Yep.
if you've got time to.
exactly.
Democratic works the best when you're able to, either by luck of cover or luck of the situation, look at everybody, get everyone's opinions. Dictation or dictatorial's better when it's like, all right, we have to make a decision right the fuck now, or we're all going to die. So
Exactly.
fucking you mixing both, finding the balance. Everyone has a different balance to this. I find I like to be more dictatorial when shit's fucking flying, and more democratic beforehand. While Harrison kind of depends a little bit more. He's a lot more willing to do democratic even while under fire. Although he'll be like, hey, let's not all fucking do this circle fucking powwow shit.
Mhm.
It comes down to what your situation is, what you can do, what you cannot do, who you have with you, and all that jazz. Fucking the fucking squad lead will think to themselves, what is the best way I can convey a piece of information, and then that'll basically determine what you do. If it's a lot, if you just want something suppressed, just say, "Hey, machine gunner, suppress that bunker." That's a lot better than saying, "Hey, who wants to suppress that bunker?"
Yeah,
or
exactly.
or trying to debate whether or not the AT person can actually like, or in the other hand, you get behind a tank and it turns out you didn't bring any AT. So you look over to the guy or the person with the stinger and you're like, all right, theoretically that could kill a tank. We just have to get it in the right position. Like that, at that point, yes, you should probably have a discussion on what the fuck you're trying to do with it before you go for it, instead of just saying, fuck it, shoot it, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and then realizing, oh shit, we missed the engine deck, and now we've got a very angry tank looking at us.
Yep. Fucking.
Yeah, things that are not conducive to your longevity.
Yep. Sometimes it's also good to just take a little break before either before you get into like actual stuck in with the enemy, or right before like the enemy stops fucking with you and you get out, to just go, hey, how everyone doing? We like this, of course you can do with like your, hey, is everyone not dead check, but just letting them know, all right, that worked pretty decently. How y'all feeling? We got any plans, any thoughts on how X, Y, and Z could have been better done? Sometimes you can get feedback during shit.
Exactly.
It's also a good both, or democratic is also a good way to get people out of the stress of combat, because it allows them to sit down and think, and sit down and go, all right, here's what we
Rather than
see.
being in shoot anything that moves mode, it's
Yep.
almost forcing them to take that step back, which sometimes, I mean, we all do it pretty much, is we'll sometimes get focused in on what's right in front of us because we're being shot at by it, and not notice, oh shit, that's an SPG-9 on the cliff.
Yep.
Oh shit, that's a problem.
Or fucking, you still, all y'all are still extremely into combat and no one's really thinking, and then you see friendly forces come up and you confuse them for the enemy, or you think y'all are retreating or some shit, and then it's like, no, yeah, we were fine, y'all weren't supposed to do that, it's fine. It's sometimes better to just say, all right, we're still throwing bullets at the enemy, they're not really shooting at us too hard, let's sit down and think for a second before we continue on.
Yeah. Okay. So, any questions on that?
And that also sort of ties in well to sort of, as well as participation engagement from your units. You as a commander should also participate in as well.
Exactly.
Yep. Fucking so I think some of y'all don't get to see this because y'all aren't squad lead, but I like to take the squad lead over and go over the plan and be like, here's what I would do, or I actually was offering this to Harrison like before he got really good at like doing leadership and shit. I was like, hey Harrison, here's how I would do a plan, here's how I would attack that, and then he'd make his suggestions here and we'd go back and forth, and he'd bring up X, Y, and Z. I'd tell him X, Y, or all the answers and all that jazz. And then you'd be like, all right, here's my plan, and I think I'm going to go with something between the two. And I'm like, all right, I sign off on it. Good luck. And then he would accomplish it to the best of his task, and the squad would do so as well. There's times where, like, sometimes the command just says, take that fucking hill, and you can do whatever the fuck you want to take that hill. And other times it's, you need to go over that bridge, cross that lake, blow up that specific house, throw a grenade through that specific window, and then take that objective. It just depends on what's going on.
Yeah. Ideally, the best times, or the easiest times as a commander, tend to be when you're not under constraint from higher up.
Yep.
But again, a commander just has to adapt to whatever their situation may be.
I personally try and do all of my extremely level, like extreme fucking tediously planned, methodical fucking stuff at the platoon level and the company level, and leave the squad leadership for like, hey, overall the platoon is supposed to take these 3 hills. Able, Baker, and Charlie are being tasked with this specific hill, and Able is going up in the first wave. Harrison or Artemis or whoever the fuck squad lead that day, the hill has this fucking gradient. We found 2 machine guns there. fucking, here's how I would do it if you want my opinion. Here's your assets I'm giving you. Fucking good luck. You have until the sun's down to be done, you know?
Exactly. So, with that in mind, that brings us nicely into the next section with regards to planning. Again, this doesn't necessarily have much to do with the fundamentals of leadership. It's more something that is a skill that a leader really does need to have. Not something that we've particularly taught before now, and frankly, it has shown. I have read the feedback channel a few times, and I have seen that abject confusion has occurred for lack of a plan at the time.
Yep.
So, the main point that I will make before we go any deeper in is that a good leader is fucked if they don't have a plan. Like, if you fail to plan before you leave your safe area, then if anything changes in the circumstances on the ground, you're going to be shit out of luck.
So a shitty plan is better than no plan, you could say.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I would complain if the squad fixes bayonets, charges through a fucking swamp, and gets shoot the shit, but I would much prefer that to happen than us to just sit in the open and let the enemy blow us to hell with their artillery, you know?
Yeah, or to play like white ducks at a shooting gallery.
Yeah, like I would hate I would hate to be like, all right, yeah, we're just gonna let the enemy use their advantages in night fighting to like not give a fuck about our cover and we'll just like not react. But I'd much prefer us to just be like, fuck it, we'll just keep firing flares even though it'll mean they can literally see us all easier, but they can't use their night vision. Like a shitty plan is still better than just not letting anything happen and just being like, I'm sure it'll just work out for us.
Exactly. So the example that I've brought to the table, which is in the lesson plan, is one Rear Admiral Daniel Callahan during the Battle of Guadalcanal, the naval battle. He did the exact opposite of this. If he had a plan, which, as far as any historian can tell, he didn't remember to brief it out to the ships within his task force that were going to interdict a Japanese attack aimed at Henderson Field. The fact that he failed to either plan or to brief his subordinates on such a plan before setting out meant that when a rain squall swept in and broke the Japanese formation up, his plan to cross their T and ambush them went clean out of the window. They ended up with their formation mixed in against the Japanese ships at night, in a storm, with nobody on the American side having a fucking clue what was going on, which was made worse when Callahan was giving orders like odd numbers fire left, even numbers fire right, signed ship's numbers. How do we think this ended?
Oh, probably
At
flawlessly.
the
I'm
bottom
sure
of
it
the
went well.
ocean?
There's a reason that area of the sea is called Iron Bottom Sound, yes. He was killed in action, as was his 2IC. His 2IC actually being killed by his flagship, which is superb.
Fucking
and
yep.
of the ships that Callahan took to battle on that evening, only 2 survived. The Japanese were technically driven off. The commander of their fleet, Commander Abe, he looked at his situation and went, I don't know how many more American ships are out there. I've already burned through a lot of my ammunition, and it's probably going to be light soon, so let's not push this any further. Had he not done that, then the Americans in Guadalcanal would have been even more fucked.
Yep.
But hopefully that goes to prove the point of, 1, have a plan. More importantly, 2, brief that plan out to the people beneath you if you want them to have a clue what the fuck's going on.
This story also brings up another point that I think Adder might have mentioned here at some point. Know what the fuck equipment you have and what your equipment can allow you to do. Because one of Callaghan's fucking big flaws was he didn't understand quite how radar worked. So instead of putting the ships with the best radar in the lead, he just said, no, fuck it, we'll do this normal USN style and have them at the back, because this will be fine. The Japanese are not expecting us to do this pro strat. For us, this would be...
took a look and went, I'm going to ruin this guy's whole battle plan.
Yep. And so for us, this would be going. You understand the RPG has a safety fuse at about like a kilometer and a half, all that jazz. So shooting outside of that, you know for a fact that's just not happening. You shouldn't expect your grenadier to do that. You understand what your rifles can do in CQC and fucking a little bit out to 600 meters, assuming you have a Fowler or Type 22. You understand what your equipment does. You understand how much your radios like to work in the weather or in the hills. That way you can understand, all right, if the squad is hit by X, Y, and Z bullshit, they can react in accordingly. You understand if commands like, hey, y'all are going to be facing down a bunch of tanks, here's some AT guns. You should at least understand how effective they are and what tanks you're dealing with and all that jazz, so you can be like, alright, I understand that all of the tanks they're sending at us are not immune to any of our weaponry in the squad. I can physically spread the squad a little bit thinner to cover more gaps. Or, hey, we're fighting dudes who use first generation night vision and y'all don't have first gen night vision. You understand that you will be able to see a giant bright light of IR before they can see you. And so you'll plan around by going, hey, let's look for the fucking stupid dumbasses with the giant spotlights and shit like that. Or fucking the enemy's night vision can see specific frequencies, so you fucking find some enemy equipment and use it to fuck with them or shit like that. Fucking, you understand, like, how your aircraft systems work, how your, like, commands told you what assets you have and how you can best use them. That way you're not sitting there in a fucking foxhole surrounded by the enemy going, I'm not sure if we have artillery support or not.
Exactly. Make sure you know what you've got access to.
Yeah, because
then you can make sure that it's the enemy who is sat there like, fuck, do we have the tools to deal with this?
Yep.
Rather than you.
Like asking, like, high command what sort of fire support and friendlies are available.
Yep, like, so for instance, you went behind enemy lines, y'all are setting up, and your command elements, like, alright, hey, we're going to be getting X, Y, and Z every couple of minutes. That way every couple of minutes you have more likely chances of getting X and Y and Z. Or, for instance, when y'all were doing the naval invasion that one, like, a long time ago, fucking Dolores showed up and started dropping shells on what the fuck y'all were marking and shit. If y'all didn't know that was coming, or y'all didn't know y'all'd have fire support, I feel like y'all wouldn't have went as far as you did, or done X or Y. Likewise, if you know the enemy has specific fire supports, you'll be more likely to be able to counter them more effectively other than just digging a hole and hoping that they don't hit you directly with it. Fucking...
Okay, I see. So the elements of good planning sort of mirror the good element of general leadership.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Knowing your limits, taking initiative, and keeping an eye on the bigger picture and communicating with your units.
Yep,
Exactly.
Yep. Go ahead, Adder.
Yeah. So the two rules of this side of leadership, of the actual planning. What do you think the first rule is? I'll give you a clue. We've just been talking about it for the last 15 minutes.
Know what's available.
More importantly, on top of knowing what's available, what should we always have?
Artillery?
That is... I'm glad. Thank you, Hardy.
A plan.
My child.
I would agree artillery is nice, but having a plan is kind of important.
A plan is significantly more important than the artillery. However, artillery will be factored into this plan. Fire the guns.
Second to that, what do you think the next big rule is with planning? Given that we know that our most important rule is to have a plan.
To be able to have a plan, you must communicate. Or be able to communicate, right?
That's a good one. What I've got down is, again, this is purely the way that I look at it, and communication, yes, that would go as a rule 3 for me. Know what your options are if shit goes sideways.
Yep.
Always make sure that if you've got a plan, you've got at least some... You don't need to have a perfect backup plan. You just need to have something there so that if things change, or things aren't what you're expecting them to be, or worse yet, things go wrong, because, let's face it, there is a certain Murphy S. law who loves to make sure that your well-laid plan goes to absolute rat shit at the first opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
having an idea of what you can do if that plan goes wrong means that you're not having things descend into anarchy within the first 5 minutes.
Yep. Fucking.
And yes, we'll add that one third. In fact, I'm going to add it into my list.
I get to watch
as we
Adder
speak,
live
it's-
adding that. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Fucking, I'd
But
say more for like the second plan. Your backup plan doesn't have to be like, all right, so if X, Y, and Z happens, we do X, Y, and Z. It's more so, fucking, say you're taking a BMP and the squad down a road, the BMP gets hit, but the vehicle does not blow up. Your backup plan then is to get out of the BMP, set up a defensive position, call command, and say, hey, we need a repair truck, and then fight off whatever the fuck has hit or harmed you. Fucking, we do a lot of the second type thing happens during like our fucking sneaky breaky ops, but like fucking you get to the fence, you cut the fence, you walk through the minefield, you cut the other fence, you get in the side of there, and then you find out you went to the wrong fucking base. Then what do? You know, like
That literally happened on fucking Sunday.
yeah,
They
fucking
took the wrong fucking road.
yeah, fucking Sunday had a great one. Fucking SPG9 team set up doing shit. The SPG9 breaks. What the fuck do you do from there? SPG9 crew decided, fuck it, we're just super infantry. Fuck y'all. Like, your backup plans will never be as detailed or as like efficient usage of yourselves, but have them be like, all right, the vehicle the vehicle got stuck, or the enemy has decided not to come into the minefield. We'll fight them from wherever the fuck they are, or if the car breaks down, you'll just go on foot or walk back to base. Fucking, your secondary plan should always rely on just being the first action you take after after something has fucked up. You know, fucking in the squad, it's like things you do when like something doesn't happen or doesn't go your way. Like your fucking assistant steps on a landmine. Your first instinct is call for medic. If you need to start shooting, or you try and fucking heal them. Like that's your backup plan. Your normal plan is your fucking assistant would like notice the tripwire as they open the door, or hearing the first explosion happen from a house, they wouldn't go walk into the second house, type thing.
Oh,
Pretty much.
you know what would also be what we could also discuss?
Hmm?
What our strict doctrine is, and how that strict ties in, like why we have one single squad instead of several fire teams, and how our other bits of our doctrine.
In all honesty, that section of the leadership course is probably going to end up being more under the advanced. Partly because, in all honesty, I wasn't expecting that particular question.
Yeah, no,
In
fucking,
total honesty.
I would give you my best answer being, we use a modified Soviet doctrine solely because it is the most easy to teach people without being the most tedious to watch in practice. Fucking, the squad can be split into smaller segments if the squad lead requires it, but it isn't something that is naturally always going to be a thing. That way you don't have to worry about, well, damn, I left the machine gun team behind. Or, damn, I need to now tell my senior rifle to go back and grab someone. You can just be like, alright, I'm moving the squad as the entire squad. The BMP as the BMP. We go X, they go Y, and everything's fine. If I then want people to do specific things, I'll tell them specifically, like machine gun, set up in second floor. Grenadier team, sit by that fucking trench. Medic and senior rifle fucking walk around. And then, you know, as your squad lead, you'll kind of just open your notebook and be like, ah, yes, I've commanded these nerds today. Check that one off the box.
Because A, fire teams can be fucky, and B, you can absorb casualties easily.
Meanwhile, yeah, fucking, we work off of modified Soviet doctrine. Also, I will try and make sure, I personally will try and make sure that it isn't just Able doing Able shit. I'll be like, unless it's like a wave-based thing where I'm going, Able's first wave, they're going to take X, Y, and Z objectives, and then Baker and then Charlie will reinforce and take them, and relieve them.
It will alternate depending on who does what. That does tend to just be the way things work within that.
Yep. I would say so. For instance, coming up Sunday, fucking the squad. There will be multiple squads dropped onto the map, and they will work together with Able, but it won't be something that Able will walk to an objective and then Able or Baker, AI Baker will walk up to Able and be like, "Hey, we're with y'all." It'll be more so Abel's overwatching one position, Baker and Charlie are flanking in from other sides, and there's a clusterfuck going on in the center, and everything's fine. And then I'll be like, "Hey, Abel, if y'all want to go down there and help Baker take that objective, go for it." Fucking, I think Nada also does this to some degree, but I like if I put units like unit symbols on the map, I like to include them as friendly forces. I'm not expecting Abel to take a singular BMP down a road to take an objective. I'm expecting Abel, Baker, Charlie to go down that road in 3 distinct BMPs, dismount, and clear an objective. Abel probably just being the ones to, do it the most efficiently without fucking falling off a roof and breaking both their legs. Type thing.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
So,
Hopefully.
There's a very quick
Sometimes the rock got hands.
yeah. So,
Anyway,
ideally, when it comes to your planning, the sequence is pretty simple. First off, you'll get briefed by your one-up commander. In this case, it will usually be this particular nerd.
Yes.
So you'll want to get a briefing from them. They'll usually give you at least the situation and mission. One thing that I would advise you do is if you're not sure of something or you want to clarify a detail, ask questions. There is nothing wrong with asking questions about the situation, like, for example, finding out what are the enemy response times, what does the enemy have, what do we have, is there any civilians that we have to make sure we don't shoot in the face, the important stuff. From there, you go away with that information and get a basic idea of what you want to do. Figure out, based on the plan that you've been given of what needs to be done, how you want to go about it. Then from there, discuss it with your 2IC, see if they've anything more to add, and if you've got the time, which you usually will, sit down with the squad, run them through the plan, make sure they understand it, and make sure that if they've got an idea that they want to throw into the ring, as we discussed earlier, that they're given the opportunity to do so. Granted, it can take a while to do that, but let's face it, it's not like we're ever in a hurry leaving our starting point, is it?
yeah.
There is
No.
rarely an occasion where we have a hard deadline of you have to be moving by X time or the plane leaves without you.
So you do want to probably fill in people multiple times on some stuff.
Oh yeah, make sure that your communication and you make sure that everybody, before you go anywhere, is clear on what you're doing, clear on what their part is within that if possible. Not always something we can do with the ops we do, but make sure they understand that, yeah, when we get here, your job is to make sure that that thing dies. Or your job is to watch this particular area, make sure that we don't get hit by anything coming from there, or that you let us know something's there. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Any points you want to add? The silence would indicate that there isn't.
I'm not really sure.
Okay. In which case, that moves us into the last section, which is going to be a little bit of, I call it a map exercise. What we're going to be doing is, if you look on the map, you'll see some stuff has been annotated.
Yeah, I see
There is
that.
3 different areas of operation that have been laid out. In each of them is a different scenario. Each of you will be given one of these scenarios and asked to come up with a plan of how you're going to do it. You'll have 5-10 minutes to figure this out, and then we'll reconvene and go through them. Rather than it being us doing it, we will be spectating the AI following your plan as best we can.
Oh, good
Granted,
lord.
oh yes, granted, expect the AI to do AI shit, but
Yep.
it should still hopefully show us how things are going to be. Bear in mind that all 3 of these scenarios are very different to one another. That's been done on purpose so that you can't try and compare each other's results.
Yep.
Not directly, at least, because that's not the idea here. We're not seeing who's better at X than Y. What I want to see, at least with this, with being the basic, is I want to try and figure out how you think as an individual, how you go about the plan. So, without further ado, how do we want to go about assigning numbers for assigning who gets what scenario?
No idea. I was gonna give them sticks, but we don't see them in real life, so I can't just be like pick the short one. So
I could roll a dice.
Number from 1 to 10, maybe?
There's only 3 scenarios.
Just-
Shit, I think I have a dice app on my phone.
I have one as well, so...
Oh, nerds.
I have
okay,
real
so
dice.
who wants to go first?
Yeah, roll my shit.
I guess roll a d6 or something.
Okay, you're getting scenario 2, Rocket.
Okay. That'll be in
I'll go.
box 2, yeah?
yep.
I'll go
Who's going next? Okay, you're getting scenario 4.
4.
It's called 4 because there is a third one, as discussed on the way in. We're keeping that one back because it's a little bit different.
I was confused as to why that was
I
box
guess
4,
I'll get
yeah.
box. I guess I'll get the other one then.
Yep, you get scenario 1.
Yeah, copy.
Okay. So we'll have a run through then. So scenario 1 we'll start with first. As you can see on the map here, friendly recon assets have identified an enemy encampment. The
Yeah.
believed strength in there of enemy forces is approximately 1 squad of Taliban plus a technical, though we aren't 100% sure. That's what the recon squad reckons. We do have a second squad on the ground who are going to be moving through one of the gullies in the area to attack from a different direction.
Okay, so they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing. Your job is to get your squad down there and take out that position whilst minimizing your own casualties. Any questions?
Let me see. Well, we know that if the enemy can call in any sort of reinforcements.
As far as we know, this group of enemy forces is isolated. However, this has been a significant position in the past, so you might want to watch out for perimeter defenses. We can't, as far as we know, there shouldn't be anything significant, but think like the enemy would.
That's a big open area there.
Yeah.
From that hill,
Okay.
we sort of have we'd sort of have an advantage, at least in terms of
Okay.
having some cover from
Okay.
there.
So are you all happy with what you've got to do? Don't worry, you are going to have time to plan in a second.
Okay.
I'm just running you over the scenario for what you need to do. Who had 2 again?
I think that was me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Rocket.
So yours is over in this big box over here. Don't
Yeah,
worry, you don't have
this
to use
one
the whole
bucket.
area. I should
Okay.
reference as well, the boxes are the limits of your area for the of the mission, the area, the extent of where you can send your forces.
Okay.
So we had a patrol coming back down from Sentinella out in the east, and we've lost contact with them on the way down the mountain road.
Right.
We don't suspect that there is any enemy forces in the area. We can't be sure. For all we know, it could just be that this squad's radio is broken. You've got a mounted patrol of motorized infantry starting off further down the valley. Your job is to find the squad that's gone out of contact in this general area, as far as we know, and establish what the fuck's going on. Anything you'd like to know?
So the squad that we've got on hand, just a motorized squad.
Yeah, pretty much. You should, I believe, have some vehicle-based weaponry available if the need arises, but hopefully it won't.
The comp of the recon squad.
Hmm?
The recon squad, how many dudes and stuff are there?
The
Like,
patrol that you're going out to find is approximately the same size as yours,
okey-doke.
just another standard patrol.
And 100% certain that there aren't enemies in the area, or
We
like,
can't be sure. As far
Okay.
as we are aware, there shouldn't be, but might be worth being on your guard.
Yeah.
Again, it isn't uncommon for there to be enemy attacks in that area.
As for box 1, is this just regular infantry? Are we just regular infantry, or are they like some sort of motorized or
Yeah,
mechanized?
you're both of these squads are foot patrols.
Copy.
Okay, and that brings us on to the last one. So, we've located a compound on the outskirts of the city that is suspected to hold a Taliban cache. We're not sure which of the buildings it's in, so you'll need to send your squad in to search them and look for it. Your objective is to find that cache, this being for scenario 4, so for you, Artemis.
Where are the friendly units in for box 4?
Yeah, that was my first question.
Good point. Completely forgot to mark that up. We'll start.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Start them off coming in from there.
Also,
So-
go ahead.
No, you.
Also, for those boxes, is that really only worry about anything inside the box, or
Yeah.
Yep,
Could it be
only
outside
worry
interference?
about shit inside the box.
copy?
Exactly.
For box 4, what does my squad look like?
Again, you're a motorized squad. You've just been dispatched from the nearby camp.
Motorized meaning jeeps and not IFVs, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you
Given that you're
have a
operating-
Land Rover.
Yep.
And that's
If-
universal throughout the scenarios.
Yeah. If
Okay.
needs be, then a QRF can be scrambled, which will likely be heliborne from the airbase. That will probably take at least 5 minutes to reach you from its location, though. As far as we know, there isn't any heavy Taliban presence, though, given that it is supposed to be an enemy cache. Don't be surprised if there's a few of them lingering around. Anything else you'd like to know, or any questions?
So we don't exactly know where that cache is, so that dot on the map isn't a hint or anything, right?
Pretty much. The likelihood is it's going to be in one of those 4 buildings.
Right.
That's the information that our informants have given us. If there isn't anything out there, there isn't anything there. It just means that our informant is a bit of a shitbag.
Hmm.
Okay. So
They
you've
are a
got
snitch, so
okay. So you've got 5 minutes now. Feel free to start coming up with your plan. I'm just going to very quickly dive away while you're doing that and get an extra can of something to drink.
One problem with this is that the fact that the squad 1 for box 1 is AI and not players.
None of the squads are players.
And thus they'll have harder time with fire discipline.
Just pretend like you're planning for players.
Copy.
I will in fact be microing these fuckers. Do not worry.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting lightning bolted on Thursday for this. But then again, I have offered to help out with that as well.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it pretty limited. I'm not gonna say limited, but pretty micro light fucking in terms of the abilities to oh my god, I fucked up. Okay, let's nah, it'll be fine. Yeah, just gonna move them. Just gonna move them to the side. There we go. Yeah. I might have accidentally put one of the squad starts on the wrong road. Uh, this is fine.
Hmm.
Things go wrong though. Okay, so for those scenarios, particularly box one, is this sort of a conquest, or is this like a, or is this sort of more of a search and destroy? And are we actually trying to hold territory?
I'm gonna go ahead and say we know there's an enemy camp. We would like to seize it and take it, search it for anything valuable, kill or capture anybody important there, and hold until relieved. Pretty much. I doubt the Tacky Man will be sending troops to like try and retake the fucking thing, but of course, you gotta just assume shit on that one about if you're gonna be getting reattacked or anything like that.
Okay. We'll call time there for the amount of time you've got planning wise. Is everyone vaguely happy with what they've got planned?
Give me a quick second to label down the last thing, if that's alright. But otherwise, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just need to label 2 positions now and then.
Yep, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. You will have a chance to talk through your plan as it is when it comes to your turn. We'll go smallest to biggest on the numbers. So, Stone, you've pretty nicely detailed out what you've got in mind. Anything you'd like to add in terms of talking us through it, or shall we let the points do the talking?
Alright, I love you. Alright,
What?
sorry about that.
Stone was on
Fine.
the phone. Be like,
But yeah. Anything else you would like to add? In terms of things you'd like to add word-wise to this?
I'd say give Stone a couple of more seconds. They might be on the phone.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Theoretically.
done with that.
All right.
Okay. So, happy enough with that, or anything else you'd like to talk us through with it?
That's about it, I guess.
Okay.
This
So
one
let's.
seems pretty seems pretty straightforward on the surface.
Mhm.
I'm
But
I'm
that
I'm
open
I'm
area
I'm,
might be.
I'm extremely upset that Adder picked this specific spot. Oh, that Stone's that's gonna be funny. But
But
yeah,
that
no,
open area is going to is the only really major obstacle here, because that can absolutely fuck with us if the MGC quickly.
Okay. Well, if you've got it all sorted for this scenario to play out, let's go onto the ground and have a watch.
all right, how do we want to do that? Adder?
Um, good point. The
I could give them all Zeus, but that would very much rely on them like not fucking with shit.
I would be on my best behavior, so because
Yeah.
if anyone, it would probably be me, and I know all
Lumao.
of this.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know if there's any easy way to put us into spectator mode.
Yeah, nah, fucking.
We could
On
always
some
just teleport us
fuck shit, I
there.
could like try and make a platform where they could sit, but
Spectator,
Okay.
Zeus might be easy enough.
Yeah, we'll just have to rely on the honor system here.
Yeah,
yep, fuck it.
I'll
we'll
Both
be
of
able
us.
to tell anyway if
Not be an
somebody's messing
asshole.
with stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let me go TP us or TP camera back to here. So we're going to look all at the box one. I'll let you know after. I'll drop the Zeus stuff on y'all, and then you'll probably give it a couple of seconds.
Yeah. Last point as well, if things change during the mission or something goes outside of your plan, you are allowed to change your plan midway. Just tell, well, specifically tell Kendall,
Oh,
and
shit,
he will
hang on.
adjust what your people are doing.
Okay, I was very concerned that it would just be a rough kind of like,
Yeah, no,
almost
no,
fucking.
no.
like running a program on like a computer.
No, no.
Copy.
Okay.
That would completely fly in the face of everything I've just spent an hour and a bit
User
letting
left
you
your
on.
channel.
Okay.
Channel switch. User joined your channel.
All right. Everybody should have Zeus permissions now. If you would do me a solid and zoom down to box one. If you want to look at this from a spectator point of view, I'd say look down the road towards the compound. Try not to get too close, and we'll work through Stone's plan somewhat.
Yep.
As we're doing this, I'm going to give some tips, pro strats, and all that jazz, because I'm going to assume fucking we are leading a Able Baker squad type shit.
Yeah, from this the map, the terrain variation is definitely less than I was expecting.
Less than you expect, but that's good. The good news is your squads are on the ground already. They understand what the fuck's going on. All right, so I'm going to assume Abel is on our left and Baker's on our right. Unless you want me to change that, I will start the bullshit TM.
I don't. Are we? No, wait, never mind.
All right, Stone
Really?
had no fucking quorum, so I'll start the plan. Stone wanted
Go ahead.
they wanted squad 1 to approach stealthily using the divot. That's a very smart plan. I would have done it. Personally, I would tell them to get fucking crouched and get moving.
Exactly.
Now, logically, you'd have them with guns down or guns up, depending on how you wanted to do this. I think getting down in that divot is the best thing you can do during the day, although if you take a note at that compound, there's very little, like, ability to see over that fucking wall. So the enemy would be very much reliant on local scouts to, like, tell them, hey, there's troops incoming, which, in this case, yeah, they ain't got no one living out here.
That's really good information to know. Like, especially like what you can see on a map is very different than what you can see as an infantry down on the ground.
Yep. Now, Stone wanted the second squad to try and do a flanking maneuver around the compound.
Oh, I hear shots already.
Yeah, squad 1 just fired.
And the
No, it is the light machine gunner laying down suppressive fire over the wall because they crested the ridge. Now,
We'll work with that.
Now,
We'll
honestly,
approach
I'm
the
kind of
with the
glad
same
they had
gimmick.
done that because my start would have been something significantly different. I would have started off by throwing a rocket over the wall, and in fact, I'm going to do that real quick. Fucking, where's the RPG? Fuck it. Ah, there's the
I did
RPG.
say
Fuck it.
technical.
Mm. Hi.
Is that Kendall controlling the dude?
Somebody revoke that grenadier's tabs.
Yeah, that is RC, yeah?
Yeah, I was RCing that solely because I couldn't actually see the technical from that position.
Oh,
Fair enough.
then.
But by hitting the wall, I was able to frag it, so it is currently losing gas. It is still a machine gun, but it ain't going nowhere.
And it doesn't have a good field of fire.
Yep.
It literally can only see out that main gate.
Now, had had the RPG taken the frag rounds, that would have fucking cleared that compound, and I'm sad that he did not bring any. He will be severely angered. But now, as that squad is pushed up here, honestly, I'm tempted to say Abel's gonna push up a little bit and continue to act as a base of fire while Baker is the ones to go in and secure the objective.
I agree. Just sort of act as a base of fire from that ridge, right where they're sort of positioned. And then once Baker actually approaches the wall, then Abel can move up and clear it.
Yep. Now, the Taliban forces are coming under fire, so they're gonna try and spread the fuck out because they RPG fire kind of angy, turns out. The main goal of them spreading out is less to get hit by fragmentation. Honestly, if you really wanted to do some shit, at this point you would have one of your rifle grenadiers start firing rifle nades over the damn wall. But hey, if that can't happen, let's see. Okay, now we're gonna assume the assistant grenadier gave his or her fucking grenadier nerd more rockets because they took a break so they can start loading. I'm gonna assume that nerd is the one to bring the fragmentation rockets. Oh, more gunfire, my favorite. Tasty.
Baker
That's
is
spot
shooting
two, yeah.
rockets.
All right. Squad 2 Baker is moving in. They started dropping motherfuckers and shit. At this point, I'm gonna order one of their rifle grenadier motherfuckers. There we go. Him is gonna load fucking gonna step forward. Load fucking that zero fucking page down that motherfucker and just
The squad is approaching from the one angle that fucking technical has to fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the technical got rifle naded.
It's
Probably still hop on the
rifle-lated and
machine gun.
its tires are gone, so
Let's see. Both wheels popped. The fuel tank broke. The engines broke. The gun and turret can still fire at you, but I would
Good
not
luck
want to be the
being-
motherfucker to hop on that.
good luck getting into that position to go do that.
Yeah, fucking at this point, the enemy squad is kind of fucked. Abel has done some weird shit and have gotten onto the road, but honestly, not a bad idea if Baker's gotten this fucking close to the wall without having actually taken return fire.
Yeah, just get everyone to advance in on that compound and clear shit.
Yeah, at this point,
I
we're
have
gonna give them an
speed.
order to search the building, and I'm gonna RC the fucking squad lead because I don't trust this shit. fuck.
Kendall is dead. Yeah, like my Zeus thing is just kind of.
And squad leads down.
Stationary, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I can't interact with it anymore. It's
Hmm.
possible.
All right,
Yep,
fucking
one hostile left.
fucking one hostile
What's
left.
interesting, I'm just looking at the map, and I will open my mouth at this point with it. With regard the other markers that I put out in that open area, Kendall, I'm surprised that none of Able have encountered those. Assuming they did actually get laid in.
Silence.
Honestly, I'm gonna
No.
say it's probably lucky. Fucking there at her. All right,
Yeah,
fucking.
mine
I'll have
still?
these fucking dude.
I'm going to just put on the editable objects for a quick
Friendly
second so I
dead.
can have a look at what is in that area.
I'm gonna be real with you, Ed. You probably won't find the mines, 'cause they don't like to show up.
Ah,
I mean the normal rocks. Yup, normal rocks.
Hmm.
Rocks. Yup, rocks.
Yes,
Hey.
rock.
Wait, where are the mines? I wanna.
They're in that field. That fucking. Theoretically, I think this is more down to the fact that the AI is decent at avoiding mines when they like.
Actually detect them.
Yeah, like the AI will be able to go, holy shit, that's a mine in the ground. I'm not gonna step on that, but it requires them like look, which the AI doesn't like to look all that much. Trust me, it's fine.
yeah.
So what are they just rock shaped?
Fucking, they're not rock shape. It's more like when you place them. Sometimes when you place them down in the editor, fucking, they don't show up. It's fine.
So,
It is
terms
fine,
of
TM.
debrief wise, a couple of casualties incurred on the way through that.
Yep.
It's that fatal funnel. That's that.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's
I
to be
think
expected.
had it
Frankly,
been an actual player squad, they probably wouldn't have done that. Fucking, they would have probably stacked up to either side of the wall, and after throwing grenades over the fucking thing, they would have stormed in. But only so much micro you can do. But once
exactly.
moving in, they dealt with all the targets they could find. The last three dudes were able to get medicked and fucking captured. And so that'll net you one warlord, one enemy team leader, and a singular guerrilla.
Also the PK truck. But
Yeah, the
that's how
PK truck that is severely fucked up, but still has got a box of ammunition in the damn thing. So, I mean, you got that going for you.
Yep. All in all, pretty decent.
Yeah, no, considering fucking Able is completely untouched, although they're low on ammo, or they're down a couple of magazines and down a couple of RPG rounds. I'd probably definitely tell Command, hey, yo, can we get a resupply? And I'd most certainly have Able move to hold the position while Baker fell back to go, live.
agreed.
Hey, Baker, get the fuck out of there. Thank you, Baker.
Yeah. Okay. So, we'll move on to scenario 2 now.
Oh, good lord.
Scenario 2, scenario 2.
Terrified.
Fucking scenario 2 assumes the Pakistani police will be as a reserve force solely because, well, this is close enough that I'm like, fuck it, why not?
Fucking hell, this is one
Hang on,
hell
have
of
we- Are we doing 4 and... Are we doing... Which one are we calling 2 at this point? Are we calling 2 the cache?
Actually, yeah, wait a second, no, you're right.
Yeah,
Fucking 2 is way the fuck down there, right.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about box 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
that's
look.
what I-
Yep, I'm looking at box 2 now, my bad.
Kendall's only been awake for a few hours.
Yeah,
It
look,
hasn't switched
it's
on yet.
fine. Alright, so box 2, fucking unknown patrol. Now, I didn't spawn any enemies here because the ambush is going to be sometime later. So you don't get to see those fuckers. All you need to know is squad lost visual and fucking Rocket is having us go find the fuckers.
I
At this...
like to think. Actually, I don't fucking know.
No, talk.
No, it feels weird being like detached and like not actually leading the squad. It's just kind of a vague.
Yeah,
being
no,
able to
fucking.
just see
If you want to like say stuff while it happens, you feel free to. You know, feel
Okay.
free to be like, I want Able to do X. I want Able to do Y. I want the BTR to do X, Y, and Z. For now, though, we're going to assume the motherfuckers are turned in because they think this is a hostile place. I do not trust them on these roads, but that's okay. They're moving to dismount point now.
That's not a fucking Ural.
That's a fucking BTR.
Hey, BTR, you wanna drive? BTR, BTR, you wanna go? BTR,
Fun.
no, it
BT.
doesn't.
AI moment.
All right,
Well,
for the
who's
sake
it?
of time, because these motherfuckers won't drive, I'm gonna just TP them there.
Bowler.
They're
All
at their
right, yeah,
meeting
the
point.
fucking BTR got there, and everything went swimmingly. Yup, TM. All right, fucking. At which point, fucking
Top tier hussar shit.
crew, get the fuck back in the BTR. Thank you. BTR's got its crew squads dismounting. Now, when the squad dismounts, she wanted them to continue on foot. They are going to continue on foot. They're going to travel in fucking column, and they're going to be alert. I'm having them travel in column because, well, I wouldn't want to have the squad walking down in a wedge on this road, particularly because of just the way it looks.
It would confuse the fuck out of everything.
Yeah, they would get lost. Alright, so we give them a formation to move on out. They're gonna fucking get into line. It'll be fine. Now, as they move down here, they're probably gonna hear. Oh, you know what? Yeah, they'll hear some shit. Fucking.
So I realize I didn't put down the plans, but like, if and when contact is made with the recon team, I just want to like, you know, get a sort of 360 like security. Oh, wonderful. And ask the squad what the fuck's going on.
Alright, so squad leads reach up here. Fucking rest of Abel's following behind. Fucking, they're gonna get a quick ass briefing. They're pretty much in shouting distance, so I don't feel too bad about this. TLDR squad recon team got ran up on. Fucking shit's going south. Oh, the guys who were supposed to be doing medical shit got killed, unmedicaled. Okay, that's fine. I'll just put them back. Fucking ambient animation. Fucking ambient animation. Fucking treat wounded. Fucking ambient. Fucking.
So they got ran up on, and our objective was to just get them out of there if they had shit going on, yeah?
Yep. So we get there, fucking squad lead confers to the other squad lead that, yeah, they got jumped by enemy patrol. Senior rifle, senior fusilier is injured and currently being medicaled. Assistant grenadier is stable but still pretty much fucked up. They're uncon. Fucking, they would like to have a squad stay here and defend this area as they pull back. And at this point, you know, the medic's going to be like, oh, fuck yeah, I get to fucking remove people. Now, depending on your squad lead, you could either have the BTR roll down the road to act as an ambulance, fucking, you know, reverse, throw the wounded in there and get them the fuck out of there. Or if you were wanting to be safe, you could be like, aha, I'm going to have the medic basically run these two motherfuckers back there. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
I would possibly want the BTR to move up and give some covering fire up the hill if they could.
Right.
Now
Okay.
the surrounding terrain is like...
Spicy ambulance with a gun.
yeah, exactly.
Angie violence.
So yeah, we'll assume the BTR moved up. Fucking the squad's gonna now. I'd like to imagine the squad's gonna do jank shit and take positions, but we will just say, yeah, there we go. We loaded the wounded in the vehicle. Fucking recon squad's now going to do the cool thing, and they're gonna fall the fuck back, preferably behind the BTR because they're, you know, they're not trying to fight and stay and fight. But as they're doing this, this is when, you know, hostile fire is going to come in, and so Abel now has to take up a defensive position. Fucking Abel, I'm microwing the shit out of Abel at this fucking point because the AI is going to be the AI. This is fine. Hey, Machine Gunner, you want to fucking run, dog? Thank you.
Then motherfuckers are gonna hunker down just ahead of where the BTR is.
Yep. Now, if you wanted to, you could have the BTR move closer, or you can keep it there. It just kind of depends on whatever vibe you're going for.
I mean, in a very specific vibe, like I would probably have it go up the hill a little bit because that like line of fire down the road is gorgeous. If they do,
Exactly.
but
Yeah, like right there is where I'd also put it. That way you can spray it down there if anyone pokes their heads out. Is everyone loaded up?
Alright, now we're going to assume since the BTR can watch down the road that the machine gunners would in fact adjust themselves to like fire cover up the fucking hill, so we're going to go have him crouch instead. Thank you, machine gunner. I wouldn't have you standing there. Now the keynote here is you have to expect the ambush to basically be coming from all around you, so wherever the fuck you're going is probably not going to be the safest position. All that really matters in this type of case is that everyone stays the fuck down. So crouch or go prone, depending on if you, like, have the space to.
yeah, and keep your 360 good.
Keep your 360 good, stay the fuck down. Now, if I was Zeusing this, I would attempt to find the most logical way for this ambush to happen. And trying to sneak an RPG shot down the road is, I mean, I would try it, but it would certainly not be anything much more than getting that RPG team killed. Honestly, if I wanted to do some fuck shit, I'll actually go show you what the fuck I would do.
They're
This
coming
is-
over the valley walls.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
come
that's
over
what
the
I was
Bat
thinking.
Lally walls. Fucking, if I wanted to start this off with a particularly evil action, fucking, let's see, we get a...
Finding out Kendo's D&D alignment now.
Yeah, from there I would take the north and the southern the north and the southern hills and be able to
Yeah.
get them from elevated position.
Fucking, I would put
I
a...
see that. Fuck you. Yeah.
I would put a sniper here, but he would not be firing, he would be spotting.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point. Exactly.
And what I would do at this point is fucking, I'd have that sniper coordinating with another team on the opposite fucking hill to do something extremely dumb and extremely not advised, but extremely funny. So you're gonna take yourself a cheap ass unit like an RPG-18 fucker. Pull that bit out. And the fuck over there, crouch the fuck down there, and just kind of just eat that some bitch over there. Okay, fucking just. The goal is not to immediately kill them. The goal is, however, to get them to fucking panic about shit. Fucking RPG-18 hit the fucking side of the wall. It didn't frag anybody. But now the BTR is gonna go, oh fuck, there's an RPG over there.
So how would you go about handling this particular situation?
Right, if there is an RPG and I got the rough sort of bearing north east as to it, fuck, okay, I'd probably want.
Like that?
I mean,
Or take
yeah,
that gun and
absolutely
shoot it out,
suppress over that, and also possibly try and get them move a bit further back so that they're covered by the trees. But I don't know if I'd. Yeah, I don't know.
No, Rocket, fucking, your decision to push the BTR back would probably be a sane one. Fucking, it would keep them less exposed and mean the guys trying to shoot at them would have to poke out a little bit more.
I just think that, like, in that situation, I'd probably be too busy panicking. But
Yeah, no, it's fair. This is why when the squad lead's not in the vehicle commander's doing that.
yeah,
So the vehicle commander would be like, drive a reverse, and as they reverse, the fucking commander's just gonna keep dumping 14.5 or 7.62 up there.
But otherwise,
Exactly.
there's not really any cover or anything they can take from that hill. So
Now, of course, this reconnaissance team is gonna keep wanting to get the fuck out of there. Now, depending on the situation, you could either escalate the ambush, or you can keep fucking throwing stupid shit at them to just keep them fucking nervous, but not enough to, like, actually fucking... You want them to stay there because they think it's safer to stay there than to try and leave. So I would probably hit them with, like, a fucking suicide bomber or a roadside, depending on what you want, you could have a vehicle come running down the fucking road. That would probably get them to abandon their positions and get the fuck out of the valley. Or depending on if your hills allow this, can I do this here? Not quite, but I could imagine, I could try and do some shit real quick. Sniper, what the fuck you see from up there? Okay, I could theoretically throw a barrel down the fucking hill at him or some shit.
let's say hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically, what you would do is, now I would probably tell the sniper to shoot one of the squad members. Maybe not to kill, but maybe just to piss them off. Probably the medic. Maybe the squad leader if I was being evil that day.
That way you get the BTR to go away and carry them off as an ambulance.
I mean,
Yep,
borderline,
yep.
the medic could be worse.
The medic would be worse because they can't really fix the medic if the medic's beyond fucked. But if you think that squad is going to stay there all day and just, like, keep battling the fucking hills, then let them battle the fucking hills. You're an insurgent. You really don't have to do... You could just leave whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah, like. I don't
Exactly.
We just want the BTR to piss off.
Yeah, like, so the RPG-18 guy, since he didn't die, he's just going to move up the fucking hill, grab another RPG-18, and come back. You know?
Exactly.
Keep harassing that BTR until it decides to leave.
Yeah. Fucking, but at this point, if I was squad lead, you already got the recon team, you know, running the fuck out of the valley, and last they heard they were pretty fucking good and all that jazz. At that point, I would start beginning to peel the fuck out of here. I'd be like, alright, medic, grenadier team, fall back to the, or medic, machine gun team, fall back to the fucking BTR. Then I would probably be like, alright, fucking senior rifle, fall back to the grenadier nerds. Squad lead's probably gonna want to be the last motherfucker to leave, depending on how y'all doing that. Then you grab your fucking nerds and be like, alright, we're getting the fuck out of here. At this point, I would recommend your BTR to just start throwing suppressive fire at whatever the fuck hilltops they need to. So, for
Whenever
instance...
we saw the RP gunner at last.
Yeah, either you can
And
go...
maybe the sniper if you could find out where that was.
Yeah, if you know where the fucking sniper is, have them suppress the sniper. If the RPG-18 fucker only fires one at you and then fucks off for the next 30 minutes, fuck him, he went home. You know? You're not stopping him at that point. He is elected to go the fuck home.
Exactly.
Purely
And the
vibing.
sniper's getting
So,
press the fuck out of.
all in all, Rocket, the plan for how to find the missing team and your approach to it was pretty good. The fact that you exercised caution and made sure to dismount because you weren't sure what you were running into. The
Yeah.
fact that you were planning to survey what was around you as you went in.
Okay.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was pretty well done. Fucking, it really depends. Like, what happens after you find the team really depends on what happened to the recon team. You know, if you
Yeah.
get there and they're all dead, then that's a what the fuck
then
do
you
you do
just go
about that?
back. You
Pull the
just go
fuck
back.
out.
Found the recon team. They're fucked. We
Yeah, like if you get to there, you find out the recon team is unironically okay and they just got lost, or they're just sitting there because their radio's broke and they're trying to fix it. Then, like, that's a lot easier to, like, solve than, hey, we got to where the recon team was, we found all of their rifles and none of their bodies. What do?
Yeah, that's called, we probably don't want to stay here very long.
Yeah.
Abel, no, command, this is Abel. We think the recon team returned to Monkey.
Yeah, Abel, recon command, this is Abel. Recon team's fucking gone.
The
Oh.
recon team were a bunch of prims all along.
Yep.
Yep.
Fucking,
Okay.
Now, if I would say if I was like doing like a scenario based off of this, I would if I was squad lead, I would ask command, hey, did the recon teams tell us anything before they could not be raised? Because that would then determine whether or not you could like gather what the fuck the recon team did. So, for instance, the last thing the recon team said were they were moving down the road, then you could probably assume that they might have gone past their position. Or maybe if you know that fob down there is friendly, you could be like, hey fob, did the recon team get there? And if the fob doesn't say anything, then you're like, oh fuck, we're doing more than finding the recon team. Great. Great.
Yeah, we've just found xenomorphs.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see. What's that fob? Xenomorph worthy? Oh, it kind of is xenomorph worthy. Oh no. Keep that in mind
Okay.
later.
So, oh dear.
How about box 4?
Yep. So,
Toolbox
but not least,
4. Alright, so
I am aware that we've
fucking.
overrun quite significantly. I should have factored in a lot more time for this phase, but it's probably fine.
We could
Yep. Fucking
So-
TLDR on this one is before Artemis starts. Police are in reserve because they were in town.
Okay.
You may go with whatever the hell you wanted to, Artie.
So my idea is that like squad comes in, takes the side road, and dismounts at this mount point because they've just got a jeep. The SL Grenadier and Assistant Grenadier break off to make their way through the foliage and get like set up here. The rest of the squad, so the Senior Rifle Machine Gunner and Assistant Machine Gunner, go over to this hill to possibly provide some fire support coming in to the suspected compound here. The blue team goes in and checks the buildings. If they don't find anything, both squads are to rendezvous here. If they do find that there is heavy enemy presence, they are to, and I didn't have enough time to mark this down, they are to like fall back here-ish. I don't know if you can see my pointer because I'm
Yeah.
on the normal map. They're to fall back here-ish and call that QRF dig in.
Alright,
Okay.
That's my
so
plan.
the SL, Medic, Grenadier, and Assistant Grenadier are the ones breaking off. Alright, let me fucking grab those
Yep.
bastards. Fucking you go there, then you go, and then you go. That leaves fucking you.
I didn't know that there was walls here. That's
Oh, that hill looked bigger on the map, Lamau.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fine. Alright, so the SL and Medic and Nerds will move fucking this way. Fucking come on, give me that fucking marker. Alright, we'll have them move through the foliage. Assistant motherfucker, or Senior Rifle and the Machine Gun Nerds will move that way. Alright, now getting there, fucking, they're going to do this shit a little bit more jazzy. Fucking, let me fucking. Oh yeah, no, this is, I would be completely content with not having them get murdered. Fucking, of course, looking at the map markers, that hill that Artemis said looked a little bit taller isn't as tall. Would you like to upgrade that if I get to it, or how you want to play that one?
Well, now I have advanced knowledge of where the enemy is.
Raj, so we won't take into account where the enemy is. Got you.
Yeah, my only like thing is I can't have them dig in because the enemy's literally right there.
there's also
And
there's also that house somewhere.
I don't have a driver, do I?
Your driver was one of the assistants.
I would like to have the assistant machine gunner take the jeep and knock down. Hold on, knock down like a wall in the orchard here, and then like back it back up and have the machine gunner provide fire support.
Is that suitable for your goals?
Hmm. I need to stop looking at things from above. Yeah, that is suitable. I'm just gonna have to go a little bit forward to where they're not exactly cresting the hill, but they do have like a visual in there. And if they take fire, then actually no, they're just gonna be suppressing. Yep, I'm happy with that.
Raj, I will now multi-role task them the fuck up there. Your senior rifle is probably gonna do the smart thing and stay behind and just kind of like peek around the fucking thing. No need to like have them go with the machine gunners. I will do some jank shit to make sure you can like tell what the fuck they're up to though. Hey,
Alright.
assistant machine gunner, get on the fucking knees. Actually, the good news is because of this, the assistant machine gunner can take a rifle grenade up there if they need to. Alright, I kind of fucks with this. Now, your other team, they are going to be the ones to go through breaching the shit, so I'm going to have them... Obviously, they would be able to go, wait, wow, this is a little bit less covered than we thought. We're going to adjust.
One hell of a fucking defilade, just
Now,
fucking
Artemis,
crater.
are you doing any advanced signaling with this, or is it just when the enemy starts shooting, that's when the machine gun team starts suppressing?
When the enemy starts shooting, yeah.
Gotcha.
Does this motherfucker have a dragon?
He do.
Damn, okay. Think we didn't bring a BTR.
Now, is this gonna be weapons free for friendlies, or what's up?
Yeah, the squad that is breaching is gonna be weapons free, and the
Alright.
enemies start firing. Basically, start shooting when you hear shooting. That's for the machine gun team. Can I give a quick order? Alright, never mind. They moved. It's gonna have the Grenadier throw a fucking frag in there, but they are already over open ground, so I'm not gonna do that. Oh, there goes my medic.
Ow, my bones.
Medics always go first, man. I don't know why.
Yeah, shit's fucking die. Ooh, dear.
Ouch.
No idea where the gunner's going with that fire.
It's suppressing
What?
blue on blue.
Why is my gunner shooting at me?
Also, the gunner is shooting into the hill now. Like, the gunner cannot actually see any of the enemy positions. Would have
Yep.
possibly gone out.
Always better to have that firepower when you there. Than to like. Maybe to have like input from like.
Yeah, I think this is just kind of like a rough vibe. Like, okay, here's going on. Here's what you did right. Here's what you did wrong.
Oh, I see.
In fact, out.
Oof.
They traded.
They did in
didn't
fact
oh,
trade.
no, they did trade. Yeah.
I see that
So-
someone had the police squad move in.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
would do that
realize
with
you
that.
were.
I would do what that senior fusilier did and go through the building rather than going through the outside.
Okay.
That's just what I would do as someone on the ground.
Again, don't think that the particular surprise that was left is going to end up being encountered.
No,
You
I
mean
didn't.
another one
I
that
didn't. I
wasn't a
didn't expect the
BPRDM?
BPR. I was just
Probably
saying, do
something. Sorry.
I was
Okay.
just saying going through the buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking that one kind of showed you what I would expect to happen if you split the squad up into a separate element and one element watched the other one get its ass handed to. That was the case of the senior rifle then going, all right, I think it would be better if I got into that objective to see what the fuck's going on. Which is why the senior rifle took the assistant MG, had the machine gunner covering them, and just moved into the buildings. I think senior rifle and fucking assistant machine gunner would have been fine had they not went around the damn thing. But this is Arma. I understand how the fucking AI works when it comes to like
Yeah.
units and shit.
Hence why what happened with the maneuver element, I'm completely discounting that as a because your plan was fine. That would have worked perfectly fine if you'd had players there, but alas,
fucking, I wouldn't say this is a failure. I think this is more of a case of what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
And
likely,
and
AI
we know
equals
for a fact
smooth
players
brain.
would not have reacted that way. The second the assault element would have came under fire, they would have fucking fell back and started returning fire.
Assault
And the
element
machine gunner probably would have done a better job at like suppressing the enemy.
As a player element, I would probably stay by the tree line or by the house or by the yellow house there and lay down fire.
Fucking smart idea on using the vehicle to break open a hole in the wall to like support your fires through. If
Hell
this was
yeah.
an armed vehicle, I would have then used the armed vehicle to be the machine gunner in
Yeah.
that case. But we can't always be lucky to get an armed fucking Land Rover. So you know, you did what you had to. You did what you could do with what you had to do.
Tuck it, tuck it, tuck it, tuck it, tuck. There we go.
Fucking, you did search the compounds, and you would have cleared all 4 of them. Fucking, squad assault elements would have come back, of course, because they got, you know, murdered. I would have like TP'd them back to their like RV point and been like, "Don't do that shit again." That was kind of that was a shit show. The machine gun element did their jobs perfectly fine. Just the machine gunner needed to fucking be better with the fire and maybe avoid blue on blue, or at least what would be blue on blue if the squad wasn't fucking dead.
I'm pretty sure what
methodology is
happened
definitely
to
good.
the maneuver element is a combination of blue and the enemies being able to shoot through the fucking shack.
Yeah.
So our methodology is definitely good. We just need to. It ties into sort of the knowing the limits of your units. In that case, the AI is really limited.
Fucking, I would say if this was being done with players, I would have done the thing I like to do, which is set the sides to being neutral to each other. That way they wouldn't immediately go hostile. Because if they do go hostile and they can't shoot through an object, if they see you through that object, they will take a shot. And that's kind of cheap considering most of the times it's them seeing you through like a small ass gap in the wall and just murdering the entire squad.
Yep.
So in practice, what would have happened really is the squad would have been the ones to start the fucking gunfight, which is why I asked Artemis twice, or I asked Artemis about the ROE, because the way I want it, so the way it would have gone with players is assault element would have gotten to that first building, and the second they would have pied around that corner, that's probably when I would have set the enemies to hostile. That way, everyone, the squad would already be ready to like start shooting, but the AI would then go, "Oh fuck, hostiles," because they did technically get ran up on here, quite hard actually. Like, very few of them had a chance to do anything, including the dragon dude, who had the fucking. He would have probably tried to fucking dragon the fucking Land Rover if he had a chance to. I'm gonna be real.
And fail miserably because it's a dragon.
Yeah, fucking heavy.
So I guess in summary, players are like worth like around like 3 to 4 AI.
In certain cases, the players
On
are a lot, but
average.
in certain cases, the AI is better than players, and in other cases, the players are better than the AI. Rule of thumb is, if it is a CQC fight, the AI is incompetent. Fucking, they are incompetent. Which is
So
why
it's
the
like
best
at
thing to
800
do to defeat the enemy is to get in their fucking faces.
The
So if it's at like
disparity.
range, they're gonna like nail you with a machine gun.
At range, they have enough time to go through their thought process of what is the target, is it hostile, what can I engage it with, how long should I engage it with, and I'm going to engage it with. In close quarters, they go, that's a hostile, it has a gun, what should I do about this? And then at that point, if you're, you know, like on your shit, you would have killed him by then. If you fucking aren't paying attention, though, you might walk through the building and the AI goes, that's a hostile. I shouldn't shoot him with this rifle. This rifle will be effective at this range. And the player's already out of the building, so I gotta reset. So, just know if you come around a corner, if the AI is not being RC'd, you have a guaranteed win on that, because the AI is gonna, like, hesitate like a motherfucker. Even if
Okay,
they
I
have
see.
no reason to. Like, it could literally be you are wearing a bright yellow suit against literally a black background and you stand out like a motherfucker. AI will still go, that's a hostile. I should shoot the hostile. I should shoot the hostile this many times. And I'm going to shoot the hostile. Which, as long as your gun doesn't jam or actually has a magazine in it, you should be able to just shoot the motherfucker. Although, if your gun does jam, throw it at him. Do something. Figure it out. You got this. You got anything to add, Adder?
Nothing really. I've said what I particularly needed to of that. In all cases, you all had a pretty solid plan when something was thrown at you that you weren't quite expecting. You were able to adjust to that reasonably well. Granted, it is a lot easier when you're detached from a situation like this,
Yep.
but still, it gives me a better insight into how you all think, which is
Yep.
helpful to say the least, and it will be useful going forward. Because again, no two people will have the same outlook on how to do something.
In
And
fact,
that's-
I'm going to take screenshots of each of the plans so I can like see how people plan.
Exactly.
You're just gonna see me fucking like being overly descriptive because I can't ever just say like
That's fine.
really brief things.
That's fine. When it comes to
Basically-
plans that aren't being made under fire, that's entirely fine. I'm exactly the same.
I need you to understand exactly how I'm trying to say it.
Yeah.
I need.
For
the-
like box one, the
Channel switched.
if routed plan, it's not ideal. It's better. It would have been better to like retreat to the north, but anyway.
Oh yeah, that can be adjusted on the fly, but having an idea of which way you're running if shit hits the fan.
Yeah, is better than like not.
Yeah.
It might be a shitty plan to like say fuck it, we'll run up the hill to retreat, but like it's better than damn we have to retreat. We weren't expecting that.
Exactly.
Because better to have a tentative we're going to go get ourselves shot in the back than a tentative well fuck there's only an open field to run through now. Damn, wish we would have planned that one ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you any comments for either of us?
Not really.
It seems like it works pretty well. What about OBJ3, or the thing that is marked objective?
Oh, that was just
That's
fucking
there
normal
by
training.
default.
Yeah, normal training shit for like squad or infantry squad type shit, not squad lead shit.
Copy.
It is the can you work together with a bunch of other nerds who are unequally as trained as you? It's fine. Take
Yep,
these
that's
rifles. You got
That's
this.
our killing house for the ducklings.
Yep.
I remember that one.
Yep. It fucking has not changed
When you
in a long
started-
time.
Have you stopped throwing Vatniks followed by World War II tankettes at them, though?
Hey, it's now. I think I throw more Russians at them, TBH. No, it's fine. Fucking, I say Russians. They're more well equipped than the Russians, so probably should come up with alternate Russians. There we go.
Don't know what you mean. The Russian army is the best.
The
equipped in
aggressor
world.
Russian army. Hell yeah.
You can always use the True Russians as like DPR or whatever the fuck they're called.
Chidakis.
Yeah, the Chidakis.
Yeah, but no, I'd say y'all did pretty good planning. Fucking remember, it isn't about how many people at the end of the day, squad leading is not about how many people die to do something. It's about did you accomplish your task?
Yeah.
Fucking if you have a limited amount of men, fucking guns and all that jazz, then yes, you will be like after op like damn, we could have probably went a little bit lighter and probably saved some shit. But in the heat of the fucking moment, don't give a fuck about what you can and cannot afford to lose. If you have to lose something or have to use something, fucking take the chance. Fucking,
Yeah.
I will be vastly less angry at you for losing a BMP than I would be for you to like leave, like not bringing the thing, and therefore I needed to sacrifice 3 squads to bail you out of a situation. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
fucking,
There's a
like.
reason why we have armored vehicles in the first place.
It's
so you
the
can
reason
avoid
why we
accidents.
have shit. We give you like fucking equipment. I expect you to use it. Like, sure, maybe throwing the RPG round at a singular pickup truck is kind of a waste. But like in the heat of the fucking moment, if it's shooting at you or it's trying to come and kick your shit in or run the fuck away, hit the son of a bitch.
Hey, it's
Otherwise,
there.
we
You
should
may as
have
well
equipment,
use
we
it.
just be hitting people with our fists, and that
Fucking
isn't
like.
exactly a good way for waging war.
Like Alice gives all of the squad assistants rifle grenades, not because one because they're better than frag grenades, but also two it's like you see a bunch of infantry out in the fucking open, and like you don't want the RPG to waste one of their fragmentation rounds on it or one of their AT rounds on it. Just slap that bitch on there and click them out of existence. Fucking dumbass in a window still, just throw that bitch through it.
And it's better than carrying like 17 magazines worth of ammo.
Yeah, fucking we give you the tools, use them. Fucking just best we
Exactly.
can.
It's good
Okay.
to have a diverse toolkit.
Exactly.
Fucking, yeah, no, fucking, yeah.
That's kind of the overarching theme here, isn't it? Is try to be adaptable as you can. Use the tools that you've got to the best that you can use them. Trust the people who've got the tools to know how to use them.
Yep.
Okay, so all in all, well done on all of yous. As was discussed at the start, that does now mean that those who haven't already got any sort of NCO privilege, you're now going to be classified as probationaries for the time being, which means
Yep.
that you can take control of squads, you can jump in as an SL or a 2IC. The current scheme I'm working on is going to be that you do 2 ops as squad lead and 2 ops as 2IC before we sign off and say, yep, we're happy, or we might want to give you a bit more time to practice that.
Yeah.
I guess like officer cadet could work.
Pretty much, or probationary NCOs, yeah, that's pretty
Yep.
much the term I've been using.
Like, fucking, you have just enough that if the senior rifle's dead and the squad lead's dead, you can go, alright, I'm picking the radio up, listen to me. And then the second they, like, want to, like, when they get back to you, you can be like, here's your shit back. You have the squad back. You have enough shit here today to go be able to fucking successfully lead small units in a variety of places to an effectiveness that you had, more of effectiveness than you had at the start of this place. Do I expect you to do this often? No. Do I expect you to want to do this often? No. But if you ever feel the want that day, you can always be like, hey, SL, can I SL today and you just 2IC for me? Or, hey, SL, can I 2IC for you today? And
Yeah.
you understand what the hell is expected of you now. You go, alright, well, I know what I should do. Fucking, you know a little bit more better. You will gain the ability to learn tactics over time.
Exactly.
For now, you just know how, you just have the sandbox open and you can make shit work. Eventually, you'll get into the mindset where you'll be able to look at a map and go, yeah, no, that hill isn't as tall as they say. Or, yeah, that river, not as thin. Or, that bridge doesn't actually exist. As a couple of y'all had today where it's like, that looks like a bigger hill on the map, but in practice it's, yes, they put a pile of dirt there and called it a hill.
Oh,
Mm.
I just figured something out.
Mhm.
If you're on the map, look at on the bottom right hand side of the screen. There's a thing that says contour interval.
Yeah, so the counter interval bar will always help you. Fucking,
That shit useful.
yeah, it will help you in some cases, although remember, maps in Armo are subject to change, including this one. This one's still mostly, well, still work in progress, but it's getting better every day. Fucking, what looks like a big ass hill might not be a big ass hill. What looks like a big ass ditch might not be a big ass ditch. Be willing to not only look on the map, but look with your fucking eyes. If a house is so shown on the map, does not mean it's a house when you get there. It could be a foundation, it could be a bombed out house. Fucking, you got your eyes, you got your brain, you got your map, you got your squad. Be willing to listen to all of those, and your command information will be a lot better than what you would like to think it is. Fucking,
Exactly.
yeah, no, y'all did pretty fucking good today.
Yep.
I'd consider this pretty good considering these were with AI squads.
Yeah. I've definitely seen worse outcomes when I've been out with other units.
I've been in worse outcomes with other units, so you know. Fucking, I've seen fucking, I've seen shit. I won't say on recording, but I've seen shit. But yeah, no,
Okay.
y'all did, yeah, I'd give, yeah. Go ahead in the fucking recording here, because I don't think Nana wants a 3-hour video real quick.
Yeah.
Bye, Naka.
No.
Hope you're doing well.
Yep.
Uh,
And with that, seeing
Take
as
it
I've
easy.
kept you for about an hour longer than was planned,